Rapping Reason podcast with Dr. Jeremy C. McCool and Earl Hopkins. We got another album that we got to review, man. We got a throwback review.
Yeah,
And this is a big one, man. And it's actually the 20th anniversary of the Games album, The Documentary. So that album came out in 2005 in January, and 20 years later, man, and it's crazy to think that this is 20 years old because I remember when this album dropped. And so yeah, it's like, man, time is flying. But bro, like when this album dropped, well, first of all, did you listen to it when it came out, or did you listen to it like later on?
Heck, nah, my parents weren't letting me listen listen to this at 8. Nah. So I listened I listened to it. Yeah, I was 8 years old when it dropped, but like, there's certain like Dreams classic, like I heard that on the radio. Hate It or Love It, like I heard that. Like, so when my first introduction to game is obviously alongside 50 Cent, who was on fire at this point, on fire, like human. And so when he came out with Dreams and Hate It or Love It, I'm like, hold on. So this is another dope G Unit artist. Like that's how we kind of saw it. I wasn't old enough to really contextualize the fact like he was really repping for the West when there was a lull, like there was a gap.
A
You know what I
huge
mean? It was
gap.
kind of desolate, yeah, for a minute, bro. So
He held it down for a dang near a decade before we got Kendrick. Like
honestly, yeah, like before Kendrick really ascended, like in the way that we see him today. But now that I gotten older, or once I got older and I really sat down and listened to this, bro, like this is a classic, certified classic, bro. Like I'm willing to debate anybody. This is one of the better West Coast album debuts, maybe West Coast albums period in the last 20 some years, bro. Like there's just so many. First of all, the production is fire. It's flawless. Like when you have Dre in your support in your back pocket, bro, he just has an ear unlike anybody else, maybe except for like a DJ Quick or like whoever is just has that ear, bro. Is hearing certain octaves that we ourselves can't hear, bro. Like it's crazy. So is glossy, not glossy, but it's just like phenomenal production, bro. He's a great storyteller. The game, we have to give him more credit. I don't feel like he gets enough credit as a lyricist and as a storyteller. Like he's incredible, bro. So for me, like I said, the documentary, it's not my favorite. Ironically, it's not my favorite game album. I would actually put Doctor's Advocate slightly above this one. But like this one is like, I mean, honestly, you can't get much better when it comes to just a hungry West Coast artist like this one, bro. This is certified, certified for sure.
Absolutely, bro. Look, I could not agree with you more, man. Like, and I was old enough to listen to this when it came. Well, let me be clear. I wasn't old enough to listen to it, but I snuck and did it anyway. I probably was 11 when it came out then. And I was all in, bro. Like, I remember hearing it and being like, man, this was like amazing. And I think this was really one of the first like modern West Coast albums that I really tapped into. I mean, of course, I'd heard the Dr. Dre and Snoop stuff, but like,
Yeah.
this was my introduction to more of a modern West Coast sound growing up, and I think that it was a masterpiece of that. And I think that the game's rapping, and I agree with you. The game doesn't get the credit he deserves as being an amazing storyteller and lyricist. Like this is one of those projects that really displays that well, and the production amazing, top tier. And not only Dr. Dre, when it's laced with Dr. Dre production, it's laced with Scott Storch production, it's laced with when you got Dream that's produced by Kanye, you got High Tech that's with some production on there. He's from Ohio.
Crazy, yeah. Yeah.
Like amazing producers who worked on this project. And that's why I say on the production level, this is one of probably I can easily say this is one of the best produced album, hip hop album, period, but definitely out of the West Coast. I think,
Yeah.
like, outside of Dr. Dre's and maybe Doggy Style, this is it. Like,
Yeah.
as far as just pure production, like,
Mm-hmm.
there isn't really any bad production on here that I'm like, oh, I don't like this beat. Like, there's not much of that here for me to point out. The song that really stood out to me the most, Dreams, has always been a song that I just have loved. I just think it's just an amazing track. Hate It or Love It. I played that song till like I mean that's one of my most played hip hop songs. Probably if somebody took a toll of my life and how, like which songs I played how many times, that's high up there because I feel like
Yeah.
there's not a year that goes by where I don't listen to that song at least a couple times. How We Do, another one
Yep.
classic.
Come
Start
on.
From Scratch is the song that I've always really rocked
Mm-hmm.
with. And that's also produced by Dr. Dre. The storytelling is just amazing on there as well. Um, the one of Believe it or not, man, this album has one of my favorite outros in hip hop
Oh
history.
wow.
I've always
Yeah.
said that. Like Father, Like Son, man, I just really love how he concluded this album. I think that it
Mm-hmm.
was him telling the story of his son being born and like really walking you through the steps of them in the hospital and the son being born and the emotions that he was feeling. I just think it was just an amazing way to conclude an album. Yeah, bro. And I think that unfortunately, I think that the games like I hate to say antics have kind of
Yeah.
taken away from people focusing more on his music. You know, he's had a lot of beefs with people. Even on his album, as I was listening back to it, I'm like, dang, he threw shots at everybody. I almost have forgot how many people the game didn't like and
Yeah.
how vocal he was about the people he didn't like. Everybody caught shots on here, like from Jay-Z to everybody. So I think that the beefs he had, public fights and all of it, there's always
Mhm.
been a lot of other stuff attached to the game outside of how amazing he is as a rapper. So I think that
Mhm.
unfortunately that is kind of like not deterred, but like I think it's impacted how people view
For
him as an
sure.
artist. But
Mhm.
amazing. One thing you can't take away from him is he has a couple classic albums that are just amazing. And this is one of them. This is actually my favorite one. And I love The Doctor's Advocate.
Yeah,
I would
man.
I would even say that I think The Doctor's Advocate production might be better, but I think I really
Mhm.
love his storytelling and rapping on this one.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think this one is just layered. I think that he gave you everything, I mean, as far as
Mhm.
like different tempos of songs, like some that are storytelling, some that are more just street bangers. Like he gave a little bit of everything, and I felt like I left this album kind of understanding the game and who
Yeah.
he was and what he stood on as an artist. So yeah, man, not too much negative I could really say about this album, for real, for
Yeah.
real.
And I would say like one of the better modern sequels, like documentary
Hmm.
2, but documentary 2.5 specifically for me is like one of the better modern, like mainstream sequels to like a classic album. I can't quite put it classic quite yet, even though it's been 10 years since documentary 2.5 released. I don't know if I'm willing to go classic, but it's
Yeah,
really, really good. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, the game gotta show him, gotta give him his flowers, bro. He's an amazing rapper for
I liked
sure.
his album. What was it? Was it LAX?
LAX,
I
yeah.
love that album too. Like
Like
yeah.
the game is like one of those artists that I always hear, like whether I'm reading an article or I'm listening to a podcast who his is just widely known for not really having a bad album or like really like a straight mediocre album.
Yeah.
I think I would agree for the most part. I think I would agree with that,
Yeah,
actually.
I can't lie and say that there's a couple of his albums I haven't listened to, so
Hmm.
I can't fully say that. But all of
Yeah.
the I've never heard a bad one. All of the ones that I've listened to from top to bottom, I've liked.
Yeah.
There's
Like
not there's
even
not any where I
Drillmatic.
was like these are terrible. Like no.
Yeah, like even Drillmatic, like which isn't like one of my favorite ones of his lately, but it's still not bad. Like it's still solid. Like it always has not good, great qualities about them. You know what I mean? So, but again, like I just think it's certain antics, bro. Like certain, you know, certain is a games, certain games he's willing to play that he don't have to play for real. Like
That's what
basically.
I'm yeah, and
Yeah.
that's the unfortunate part, like, is that when you're a rapper who's this gifted at rapping, I think that if he had went more of a I'm trying to think of a rapper who I could compare him to that isn't. I would put Game on the level. If it wasn't for the antics and all of
Mm.
that, I think that people would discuss him in the same vein that they discuss like a Ti.
Okay. Okay. I'm not mad at that.
And
I'm
I
not
think
mad at
that's
that.
around the level where people would place, which is high. I place Ti
That's
pretty
high.
high in mine. I rock with Ti. I think Ti has some classic albums, so I put Ti pretty high on that list. Even though now I know a lot of people look at him for the other stuff, as far as like TV show and all that stuff, but I still think of Ti's catalog as being elite. But I think people don't often refer to him in that just because of the other stuff, unfortunately.
Yeah. Dang, that's actually a pretty good comparison. I didn't know what way you were going with it. I was hoping you didn't say Ice Cube though, like because
Oh no,
I don't think they're really comparable in
nah,
that
Ice
way.
Cube. And nah, I wouldn't compare him to Ice Cube
Mm,
just because of the subject matter. I
yeah,
wouldn't compare him. Ice Cube has way more pro black conscious revolutionary type music.
yeah, he
So
does.
I wouldn't put like if you listen to some of like America's Most Wanted or like Ice Cube has some albums that are really like
Death certificate,
Death
absolutely.
Certificate being one, like
Yeah.
yeah, Death Certificate especially. That's one of my favorite like conscious albums. And so I think I look
Mhm.
at it. I wouldn't put him in the same vein as a Ice Cube.
Nah, nah, but one of the great, like one of the great modern West Coast artists for
Oh,
sure.
for sure.
Like,
And when I say held it down, he really was like the only one. And
solo.
there was a stint. It had to be because K Dot's first album dropped in when
His first
the kid is
like
in
mainstream album was Good
mainstream.
Kid, Mad 2011, 2012, something like that.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Yeah.
So when we're looking at from 2004 or 5 when Game
Hmm.
drops, like up until Good Kid,
To
Mad City,
2012. Yeah.
he held it down.
Yeah. That's like a shoot. That's a span of a whole other rapper's career, bro.
Absolutely.
Basically. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Most
Yeah.
rappers'
Like a
career ain't
successful one.
7 years long. No, most rappers ain't lasting that long. So for
Yeah.
him to have
True.
been able to be significant and really hold down a coast like that for that's extent, I definitely think we got to give Game credit for that because he did. And I honestly am so I think hip hop was hurt by the fact that him and 50 Cent ended up falling out because man, they made some amazing music together.
Yes, bro. I was actually going to ask you. I know we got to move on to another review, but knowing what you know now, like, or that's been, speculated is that 50 Cent had a strong hand in the writing on the documentary. What's your thoughts? Does it affect how you think about the album?
Who said that? 50 Cent?
Yeah, I think
What
so.
then I can't sustain that as a source. 50 Cent said a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah,
I
I
can't
think so.
50
Yeah,
Cent talk crazy about all the artists who ain't signed to him no more. So I can't really substantiate that. And I'm gonna be honest, bro. I think the game rap better than 50 Cent. So that's why I don't believe it.
that's true. I actually agree with that. Yeah,
You
he
can't tell
does.
me you writing for somebody who rap better than you. That don't work in my mind.
You can definitely write, but like,
No way.
yes, you can, bro.
Bro,
Like,
I can't write. You can't write. I can't say somebody can't say like if that's like if LL Cool J, I hate no, I'm not gonna do LL. I'm gonna do like well if Young Thug tell you he write for Kendrick Lamar, you're gonna be like, what are we talking about? No, you didn't.
but the dude who wrote for Drake, bro, Drake raps better than the dude who wrote for him. I'm forgetting his name. Wow, like I'm forgetting his name, but he raps better than bro. And bro was on reference track doing the melodies, doing like a bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's
One
crazy.
person didn't write for Drake. A lot of people wrote for Drake. So I
Yeah,
think
that's true.
that's the
That's
thing.
true.
He wrote a couple songs for Drake, and then so did
Yeah,
this artist, and there's a collection of artists who made Drake. That's different.
yeah.
I can't. I'm not buying 50 Cent wrote for Drake. I'm
I
sorry.
think he had influence. Like
Oh
I
yeah, I'm not saying that
definitely,
he
yeah,
didn't help him with a
for
hook
sure.
or like, hey, have to
Yeah,
give me this, but I don't think he
mm,
sat down and wrote games verses. I'm just not gonna be able to buy that.
yeah, yeah.
And
You know,
they don't rap the same. Like they
they
don't
don't
even
rap
have.
the same at
Yeah.
all. But that could be a credit to a great songwriter. Like a Sci-Hi the Prince is a great ghostwriter. He can make you sound like yourself while being an elevated version of yourself without sounding like Sci-Hi. You know what I'm saying?
But Sahai got bars. And
Yeah,
not
he's
I've
like
nobody has ever heard
crazy.
I've never, and mind you, I don't want to say this in a bad way because I really like 50 Cent's music. 50 Cent is a
Hmm.
legend.
For sure.
And I've never heard 50 Cent be like, ooh, 50 got bars. Like I've never listened to 50 Cent song and thought that. I think
Mm.
he's wrote some good songs, but like
Yeah.
I've never looked at him like some lyricist like how I look at the game. So like
Mm.
I don't even know if he has the ability to do that for real.
That's true. Like he can definitely rap, but we're not saying like, okay, you're one of the better lyricists of your
No,
generation or among your peers. Like I've never thought that,
no.
but I always thought like that's a dope song. Like Many Men is a classic song.
Amazing song.
You know what I mean?
Amazing. He's made some amazing songs. But
Hmm.
as far as just rapping though,
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
I
the
think his
game can
true talent.
rap like
Yeah,
when I what was it 100 bars? Like 50 Cent can't do 100 bars. Like, I don't know. Have
crazy.
you ever heard that?
Yeah, yeah. Nah,
Yeah,
crazy.
no, I don't I can't ain't nobody else write that. I can't believe it. Yeah.
Nah, I think 50's true talent is business. I think he's like a troll, master troll, and knows how to like transfer that to business. Like, bro is top tier in that
Yeah, and
arena.
in his book, which I will recommend, is 50th Law of Power, the one that he did with Robert Greene.
Hmm.
It's kind of like a spinoff of 48 Laws of Power. It's more so based on like fear and 50 Cent's life and his
Hmm.
story and how some of those and some has some different laws and how it apply to his life and his principles or whatever. But he kind of touches on that a little bit. Like
Yeah,
the business side is really where he used music as an outlet, but he definitely was more gifted in that side.
for sure, for sure. And if I see another Tony Yayo interview where this man mentions him 50 times, I'm gonna just turn it off, bro.
I had never
Like,
watched the Tony Yayo interview. I
it's
didn't.
really interesting. Like, he's a great personality, bro. Like, yeah, I wouldn't, I don't think I would ever say that, bro, but he's a great personality just to be on camera, bro. You know what I'm saying? Even
I
on the
can't.
Vlad interviews.
I can't
Yeah.
watch. See, I'm one of them people I stand on my boycotts. When I say I ain't watching nothing or shopping nowhere, listening to nothing, I stand on it. And Vlad, I just can't. I, I'm.
Yeah.
I drew my line with
Depending on
Vlad.
the guest, I can get through it.
I can't,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah, Vlad is. No way. I'm out. Yeah, I can't do it, bro.
Yeah.
Certain folk I just ain't gonna be able to support. So he's on that list for me.